She's doing the roll call for the
She's-
finance.
You gave me the. Oh, okay. So 6:01. So, Melendez here. Bosco is absent. Santangelo is here. And then the other members are Ryan. B is absent. Monahan. Yeah, and Chris is here. Okay. I have to go back and- Okay, public comments. Do we have it? Anyone else? Okay. Director's comments.
I'll wait until I'll go through it.
Okay, unfinished business. Approval of the January 2025, I'm sorry. Approval of the January 2025 Finance Committee minutes,
As presented in the packet.
as presented in the packet.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Trustee Melendez. I second.
Yeah.
I have a
Exactly.
second because I'm the only one. Okay. Okay, I didn't know if I could do that. I'll second that. And then any discussion? Okay, so then, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I'm not in it.
I'm looking that way.
I was not present for the meeting, so if you can remove Trustee Monahan. Or other
Oh,
trustees
I'm
present.
Okay, with the approval with the correction of taking trustee Monahan out.
You got to go to your primary first.
So is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're amending
Well,
your
then
motion.
We're amending
with
the
the removal.
motion. Okay. So, trustee Melendez
Yes.
and trustee Santandro, yes. Motion carried. And then preliminary budget review meeting?
There's no, that's just discussion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no
It's
motion
in the
on that.
packet.
Well, yeah, I think your director is going to address that now. Talk about it now.
Oh, sorry.
The floor is yours.
Okay. All right. Okay, this budget packet is a little bit different than the one that's going to be presented to the village. The village I try to scope it to the audience. The village packet will be more on the business side because it's made up of business people. And they're going to be looking for certain things that I talk about, metrics and benchmarks and so forth, returns on the money that they give us. Because as you can see, I'm outlining that I am requesting $403,455 additional dollars. And the basis for that is the growth that we've had in programming and attendance in the library. So I provided that analysis, and that's a similar analysis that they'll see. And I also broke it down in programs and attendance. And I explained to them that, to sustain the growth in programs and attendance underscores its success in addressing the community needs and interests. By setting ambitious goals for 25-26, the library is poised to further enhance impact, mainly through expanded youth programming and renewal efforts to increase adult engagement. These achievements affirm the library's role as a vital, thriving resource for the Elmwood Park community. Now I get into the revenue breakdown. Again, I'm reflecting the changes from one budget to the next. And as stated, the $403,000, there'll be no change in the personal property tax age option per capita. The project next operation grant, the $40,000 that we reflected last year was much higher. We didn't get $40,000. We're going to be asking for the usual $12,500 to the state in programming. That's where you see a negative decrease of $27,500. Copier and usage fees have gone up slightly, and we're focusing at fines and fees. There's no revenue coming in on those. There's no fines, and everything gets booked to copier and usage fees. Interest income has been running slightly higher than the 12,000 that was budgeted last year. The grant money I am projecting to be the same, and the building fund balance to be slightly higher than last year. I'm hoping that when the auditors come in, and that we probably have about $105,000, at least $105,000 variance that would get added to our building fund, our own sole reserve account. So as you can see, overall, we're going to increase our budget by 17.5%.
So that's what our run rate is tracking to? Our run rate is tracking
Well,
to
we
additional-
haven't booked any of the revenues. The accountants come in and book all the revenues for us.
Got it, okay.
All right. So the real estate taxes, I mean, that money's going to come from real estate taxes. And when we sit down with the village, like it'll be much like last year, he already has an idea by group what he needs. The village is, if I remember right, please don't hold me to it, is that the village budget is around $44 million, and I think 20 million of it is derived from tax dollars. So you could see our percentage is less than 10%. I know that. Whatever the numbers are, our percentage of the real estate tax is the lowest percentage. Okay? I talk about in detail what I went through on age option as you go through the...
Do you want us to ask questions as we go?
Hey, any questions? Yeah, just stop me. Okay.
Well, I do. So really the drivers from revenue, really a lot of the drivers for our increased revenue, most of it is other than real estate taxes, right? It's the building fund that we're looking to use for some of the funding. Now, as far as, well, this will be a cost question when you get the cost. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, there's an offsetting cost for the money in the building fund. That's what you're going to get to. The same number is reflected down there.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the grant money.
Yeah. No, I'm getting
So the-
slightly different, but yes.
All right. And then I explained, again, the impact of per capita, Project Next Generation, the copier, the donations, and the interest income. So I go a little bit more detail on the line items.
Yep.
And then I give you a summary for each one. Now, the employee-related costs. The change is 15.5%. Salaries included in that salaries is my increase that was not reflected in the prior budget. Two, I should have said this up front, but on the expense side, I'm only looking to add 2 individuals, and that would be for Makerspace. 2 individual librarians for the Makerspace. And from that point, in my discussions with them, what I'm projecting that the room is going to be open all the time, and that I expect at least 200 programs a year. And I don't think that's anything out of the line. Everybody here will be giving Makerspace programs also, and we have a complete outline of the 20 odd programs that we would like to do, and I'll share that list when we get closer to it. Because salaries are increasing slightly. Oh, and I want to make another point. In the 141,000, our salary increases of 3.1% for employees.
But that's only 11% of the change. The rest is all coming if I don't
With the
if I
result.
don't have it wrong from healthcare increases, right?
Right.
Unemployment and FICA.
Right.
Is healthcare going up that much?
Healthcare is projected at I had to put in, and we could go back and adjust it, but I had to put a 10% increase from the prior year.
Okay,
It was 18% last year.
okay.
Okay. And included that is the possibility of the 2 people taking
Okay, okay.
health
So
insurance.
we missed it by 8% last year. So now,
Well, no,
you know
they
it's
gave
gonna
me
go-
they gave me the money. If you remember, I went back
oh, got it.
and he
Okay.
gave me another 59,000.
So run rate, we were fine.
Run rate, we're fine. Run rate, we're fine for all of total employee related expense.
So IMRF is going up and FICA, of course.
because salaries are going
Yeah,
up.
yeah. of
It's
course.
all percentage allocated.
Right, no, I know, just. you
Yeah.
know,
No, it's okay. It's okay.
When you see health insurance going up that much.
It's gone up drastically, and we have more people taking it because we have more full time staff.
Yeah, right. No, I get that.
And you know what the other thing is that we have 2 on family plan.
Okay.
Okay. So
Like I said, it just seems like, a lot when you.
right. Oh, it you could see the total amount, our total salaries, how much it is, and you can imagine for the village how much it is because we have 2 or 3 full time people that don't take insurance. I don't take health insurance.
Did you say the makerspace staff would be full time? They'll be taking
Yeah,
insurance.
they'll
So
be
that's 2
full-time.
full time positions.
Right. When that starts, we'll see. We'll see. And really to address that question, Trustee Monahan, is once the space planner, we move everything into the middle. Room will be available on the side. And then we could possibly start or do some of the makerspace in the PNG lab. So we might be able to start it in here or in the PNG lab before we actually have the 2 walls put up.
But there could be some lag though too, if we're
Sure.
waiting until the maker spaces get
Right.
built.
Right.
So there.
But some,
did
you know what?
time it
Some of the
in
programs,
budget?
for example, we did one today, a sewing class. That's
Right.
considered makerspace.
Right, but so for the new hires that are going to be
Oh
supporting
yeah,
the programs, are they
right.
going to come later in the year? Did you time
Right.
it for that, or did you just assume starting with the new fiscal year budget?
you know
just
what?
to be conservative,
for the
to make sure
process
we
of the
have it?
budget, they're in the beginning.
Okay,
Okay.
that's
It
yes.
and I'll be honest with you, the money that we're asking is high, and there might have to be some bartering, and that might be where we barter and try to absorb the makerspace hire. You see how I am. I'm very leery at it, and I will wait till the last minute if it's needed. I have a few people identified here. There's quite a few people that want to do makerspace, some type of makerspace program. I think that we might be able to absorb it, is what I'm hoping. Or maybe one. Or maybe that one is a technical service library.
But you want a budget for?
I want to budget for it in the worst case scenario because that's what this budget is, worst case scenario.
Oh, there's budgeting.
You know,
and then
the
actual-
building expenses, again, that's worst case scenario. If I don't have to put carpet in, I won't put carpet in. You know, I'll buy used furniture like I've been buying all along. Makerspace furniture is expensive, but let's see, you know, like what we did with the service desk. Maybe there's something we could do. We've been getting a lot of free furniture from other libraries that are upgrading, and I don't have a problem.
Maybe we can have a leaf and acorn drive where we ask people to buy leaves and acorns. Fun.
That's a good idea. That's a real good idea. So, getting into the nitty gritty with the I'm not going to say important costs, but the costs that are pivoted to our programming and library operation, meaning books. Total books I have increased by 24,000. The majority, the adult books, especially the nonfiction, has to be upgraded. We've gone through the weeding process, and it's a constant thing. We've been upgrading our books, but we got to continue toward that, especially in the youth books. You know, now the different things that are coming out for teenagers and so forth. We want to make sure we have the right investment in that, and we've been following right along the budget right now. So, I think 24,000 is an aggressive amount.
Well, I see a lot of empty shelves.
Okay, see, one of the fallacies, people come in and they look at an empty shelf because at home they have a full bookshelf like this.
Yeah.
Here you got to be able to take books in and out. Okay, and with our interlibrary agreement, we can get any book.
Mm-hmm.
So you know they do the due diligence when they purchase books. So we haven't had too many problems. So we order the books that we know that are most popular, and we'll order ones that aren't available at other libraries. But our collection still, we have to weed books that haven't been taken out in 5 years. And then the nonfiction, I don't know how many kids 20 years old want to know about Madonna now. I mean, biographies from the 80s and so forth. But that's part of the job that the librarians do. They're each responsible for a selection, and then they go through it, and they order and delete, and we try to keep that up. Comic books is now the biggest thing, but a lot of that is online. We're going to be getting more involved in ebooks, and we're trying to stay ahead of the curve. But our selection is up to date, and as we go forward, in the board packet was some charts on our books and interlibrary in the original book that department head Gabby had put together.
So,
but
more on books, right?
yeah, we're done.
Okay, well, I want to talk about books too.
Okay.
So when I look at the stats, right?
Yeah.
So the teen and juvie are what, almost 60% of the books that are checked out in the library, compared to 40 adult. So wouldn't we expect that we'd want the same, allocation here among books in the budget?
Well, you know what? That's just a placeholder today. I
Okay.
mean, that data is based on 8 months, and we have to see what we're going to be purchasing over the next 4 months.
Okay. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I know what you're saying. But,
And maybe you're looking to
but see,
increase
these are-
adults by getting better
you're right.
books.
Oh no, I understand it, but there are subcategories to all of these.
Right.
Okay. So these are just placeholders right now. This is draft 1.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
Quick question too. So are ebooks, is that within books?
It is. You know what? I have to check the results.
Audiobooks?
Trustee.
Wouldn't that be with an audiobook?
Yeah.
No, that's too low. The
Yeah, but I
audiobooks
got
gotta be
the
CE.
line item in the book I would have to look at.
But those are initial allocations, right?
Yeah. I got audiobooks. Let me pull a report on that. Trustee Monahan, to
It's
get you-
probably in one of these here.
Yeah.
You know?
It's probably in there, but the dollar amounts on that. But what I do is the total dollars will get allocated to each line item. And there's probably 4 line items for every high level at this hierarchy that what I have. Any more questions regarding the books? And President Pesco, that's good that you looked at it. I had just gotten those numbers, so I really haven't delved in and done any analysis on that data, because I'm very interested, especially looking at the interlibrary and so forth, and who's taking the books out and how that all works. Then I'll have a better understanding. But right now, all I could do is go by past history on the costs.
And I'm just going to say what I said to prior directors. The staff should know. The staff should see these numbers.
The staff
and they
does
should-
know. They're asking how the money's going to be allocated, and I've asked them for their input by line item. Because what they do is they end up they keep track of what they're buying.
Right. I'm just saying
No,
the
I know.
staff should know that adult
Oh, no.
checkouts are at 40% and kids checkouts are at 60%, right? Because
Right.
it should be
Right.
feeding
They
your
also, and you know what? They're the
decision
ones that told me about, the adult side told me what books are missing and what we're purchasing and all of that.
Right.
So, okay. All right, programming?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to programming. You can see that we're looking for a $30,000 increase in programming. Community program we've increased over the last 2 years. It's significant because we're doing joint programming with the village, and Touch a Truck is one that comes to my mind. We're involved with them, helping them out with the auto show, and we help them out with the Christmas function and so forth. So we're doing more teaming with the village right now. So for Touch a Truck, for example, I've asked the people across the street, we need to get a picture from up above. How many people come?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would make a nice snapshot on that day. We haven't locked on that date at this time, but it's going to be warm out.
Let's get a warm day.
It's going to be a warm day, and it's going to be after summer reading, which is the Friday before the last Friday of the month of May. Okay, but the programming dollars overall, that's our investment. That's the business we are in, to deliver programs. We will, once we get into the detail allocations for it, and I gave you the high levels. So, I mean, there are external programmers that we use. I see that happening a little bit more in adult programming for specialties. Like I mentioned, the woman at Scarce was talking about that they do various environmental programs for youth and for seniors. So I'm going to be reaching out her and see what type of program she actually shows. And offhand, we're just going to continue taking input from the residents and what they want to see. And the same thing goes for the youth stuff.
I think this might have been in. Actually, I don't think this is in here. So we have the changes in programming.
Yeah.
From across the years, right? And
Right.
your current working view compared to your 23-24, right? That's the percentage of
Increase.
change in programs, right? Exactly. But I think a compelling story for the village too is not only showing that number, but to show that over 2 years it's up 150%.
Right.
For both of those categories.
Right. Well, getting
Youth
back
and
to that chart, the important thing, and I had said this before, and I said this to staff, it's unfair for us to measure the 68% from the prior staff. What I wanted to see is how we measure against ourselves.
Well, sure, but still, the story I think for the village,
It is. Oh, for the village,
Right,
I have
is-
something a little bit more in
right,
depth
is
with that.
hey,
They
we're,
have a separate supplement
we're
that goes
killing
by
it,
each
and-
line item of
right.
programming.
and we're looking for support in the budget
We are.
to
We are.
see that.
Yeah. Okay, so total equipment and lease costs. All right, in the equipment, I have in there dollars. This year we had an unforeseen cost with a server, so I've put in the budget to plan that some PC replacements because of the software change, enhancing the network infrastructure. But we are looking at ways to get funding for that now. That's come up recently in the last week. Some of the infrastructure for network might fall under a grant that we're looking into. And the way that grant is whatever the amount that we request, we're required to pay 20% of that. So if we have $50,000 worth of needs, 10,000 of it we would have to pay, and that's would be a line item in our budget already. We are looking on. We've been working the last week on that, but we will see what happens on that order. The next part are just the lower details of the other operating costs. The maintenance of the building reflects the $115,000 is the building fund. The offsetting
offset
expense
from the revenue.
for the revenue. I do have $19,584 in as contingency. Last year we had 30, and we had used that. We had spread that for some of the network expenses that came in that were not anticipated. The auditors, I figure they're going to have some sort of an increase. So
I have a
added
question.
Huh?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Well, under telephone communication, utilities,
Yeah.
and insurance, none of those are going up. I mean,
No.
the way utilities go up when you get your bill at home, don't they?
No,
Okay.
we're slightly under budget now.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking.
Okay, this is budget. In libraries, municipalities,
The
they
same.
work from budget to budget.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
wondered if we needed to
question.
add something in
No,
there.
that's a good question.
Because the way utilities prices go up when you,
It is. It is. But budgets approval are done from budget to budget.
okay, I just didn't know if we needed
No,
to
no,
add something.
that's a good question. So on the operating expenses, okay, and then I go in detail for you on each one.
Mhm.
The legal services, we're gonna keep about the same, manage that. The auditor fees, like I said, the consulting fees are gonna be no change for that. Office supplies, you know what? Over the last few years, we're spending more on office supplies than we ever did. But we have all the approvals for that going through one person. So we have control of it. And everybody just can't go out and order.
Right.
Okay.
Quick question. The auditor fee, we had the auditors when things were really kind of messed up, and
Mhm.
so we were kind of smooth sailing with audit, right?
It's a smooth sailing, but still, it takes the same amount of work. In fact, this audit was done in a greater detail
All right.
and much more time on our end. I think we still might have a couple issues. You know, example, the auditors might look at an expense and say, well, why did program expenses go up? Okay, they were looking at line items, and their responsibility is that making sure that all the beans are in the right bucket.
Mhm.
What I explained to them, well, you know, programs and attendance go up, those expenses are going to go up. Same thing with books. You know, they take a look at every single book and they count up basically how many books we order and go through. You know, which is about 6,000 books a year. Okay, so they ask explanations just like anybody else would. Okay, the next part of the is the grant funding, and again, I had said earlier, it's all offsetting expense to the revenue, and not much of a change. And I gave line item explanations for that. And
So again, the project next gen grant going down, is that a
it's we
that
didn't
could
get
go either way?
it could
or-
go either way.
Why has it gone down?
It didn't go down. We didn't get 40,000.
Oh, okay.
We put 40,000 as a wish list. So can't get it unless you budget it. Can't spend it.
Right.
So okay, and that goes
Is that a
for
state
the
grant?
Hmm?
Is that a state grant or a federal grant?
State. State. So on that part. Fees and gifts analysis. We had a balance of you remember on our minutes and agenda all the time, we had funds in the gift fund. We used them to help make to incur some of the costs of improving the facility, and that's why you see that going down to zero. But overall, I think after Wednesday's feedback, I expect some slight changes. As we go further, we'll go into greater detail. Overall, I don't see the numbers changing that drastically.
just for the project essentially?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
That's
that
where
is
my-
not included in here. The cost for the project is not included in here.
it's not, you don't have a plan in the budget?
Not yet, not at this time.
Okay, so it's gonna go up?
It will go up 100, whatever the amount that when the village decides what they're going to do. If they're just going to pay for it, or are we going to
Okay.
get a note for it?
Well, because there were some line items in there, and that was the question I was gonna have earlier, and that was around capitalization, right?
Right.
So if you recall last year when we went to the village, we were able to put some of that in capitalization, so
Yeah.
it's actually not going into the tax.
On the capitalization on depreciation, you're right. The problem is the way the tax codes are written is different now. Now, it's 7,500. Everything is per unit now.
Right.
Okay, so you might spend 50,000 on furniture, but they don't allow you to capital 50,000.
Sure, but bundled in with the village, if you build it through the village.
If they give us cash, no,
Right.
they can't depreciate it. They would. The village is either going to allow us. They're going to give us the debt service money to pay off the loan,
Mhm.
or they'll give us the cash to pay for it.
But so it was the same way though with the roof, right? That was a capital improvement.
The
And they
cap,
were
but
able to
that, that's
put
a
that-
but that's an expensive item. That hits the threshold of 25,000. That was a 200,000. It turned out to be a $200,000 job.
Right. So then the
Anything we purchase down here doesn't fit that.
library improvement program can.
Not all of it. Very little of it. All the
Is it
furniture, the
because we're
majority
getting
of
a
it,
lot of it
the
grants?
carpet. If you look at that, but the expenses on there, none of the furniture is there. None of the furniture.
So we got a minimum threshold we have to hit before we can even
No,
capitalize it.
it's a per unit. An
Right.
item
So,
hits a
so
cost
minimum.
over
Right.
7,500.
So minimum
Right.
threshold.
Right.
Is that the same with computer too? Because I know
Yeah.
when we do development work, there's a small minimum threshold.
Right.
But you can
Right.
capitalize
I
the
was,
hardware.
I'll
can
send you
capitalize-
exactly for computers because I'm not sure. You know, leasehold improvement. They totally changed the tax code, and I have it written down because I remember it one way, and they definitely changed it.
Okay, so maybe we'll see from Paul and company when we
Yeah.
get it to
Yeah.
them. They can
I
decide
mean, you know,
how they want to address it.
computer equipment, I think, and don't quote me on it, was 10,000. So a PC would never be capitalized.
If it's purchased by them underneath a bigger umbrella, it might.
No,
So,
it never
or a
could.
server.
It's only per unit.
So the
It
computer.
doesn't
has-
matter if you buy a million of them. If they
Mm.
don't individually cost $7,500,
All right.
you
Well,
can't
let's
capitalize
check
it.
because I know.
No, I know that for a fact. That I read.
Is that different for public versus private? Because I know privately we
it-
can do that.
It's different.
Okay.
Corporations is slightly different. They don't allow you to do it. That's why they changed it. That's why the depreciation on buildings are different now, and the real estate taxes, real estate investments for doctors have changed because of what they were doing in the 70s and 80s and 90s,
Okay.
writing that off. But it's individual unit. I don't agree with it, but it should be. You know, you go out and you purchase makerspace. The sum is going to be 30,000.
Right.
It's an expense. I don't understand why it has to be that for the government. There's no impact. We're not paying any taxes. There's no reason for me to understand that.
Right. All right.
Okay, but
That's all the questions I have.
maybe we're all in one umbrella on GA, GAAP accounting practices. But I do have an email on that because I asked that question, and I'll further break it down for you on that. But unfortunately, no. Legally, no.
Any more questions? Okay, so going on, new business? Nothing? Adjournment?
I'll make the motion.
All second. So we adjourn at,
Vote.
oh,